didn't realize I had two types of music playing at the same time. I didn't realize that it's been such a while since I've streamed that I forgot I had literally two versions of music. I have the Star Trek music you can hear here. And then I have like this like weird ethereal music. And it's like, I like this weird mix that it creates is interesting. Oh, let me pop on and let me turn down the Star Trek music because that'll probably get a copyright claim, I'm sure, at some point. Alrighty, I'm gonna pop on, everyone. Hello. Woo, that was quick. I thought there was a bigger fade. Hello. Hi, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Or actually, is that, ooh, that's the, ooh. Ooh, which one's better? Ooh, I don't have the music on this one. Why is there no music here? Why no music? No, come back, music, come back. Come back. Wait. There it is. There it is. Oh, that's Star Trek music. Oh, well. Both of these, this one, like, you can see, this is my nicer camera. You can, like, see every pore on my body. Oh, no. I don't like it. It's too harsh. This is the crappier camera, but it makes my face look all soft and pretty. Hello, everybody. How's everyone doing? It's been a while since I've actually had a chance to chat with everybody. Hey, Lewis. Hey, Penumbra Ghost. Maldoror. The Mighty Ginger Joe. Good to see you. Miss Wicked Wolf. Flando. Don. Nightmare Tale 22. Nine-tailed, Ligant, apologies if I said that wrong. Name Crochet Tiger, good to see you too. Honestly, Diane, apologies if I'm saying names wrong, I am terrible. DM Collins, heart to you, sending you love, my friend. Gendrin Y, let's lift our cups and sing in Latin to Jessie, oh god, don't ask me to say Latin, I don't know what that means. It could be like, make sure to wear underwear or something is probably what that says in Latin, I love it. Oh, Courtney X Chrono, well, welcome to your first live stream. It's great to see you here, my new friend. Sending you love. Mwah. It has been way too long since I have done a live stream. Let me put this here so I can actually look at your beautiful faces while I'm looking at stuff. Yeah, apologies, everybody, that it has been so long since I have streamed. There's been a bunch of different reasons, some that I will go into and some that I will not, but just to give like the quick and easy version of why I have not. Number one, very obviously, I am in a brand new apartment. I moved down towards Los Angeles area. I'm not in the Los Angeles area. I'm not going to say exactly where I am just for safety reasons, but I moved recently because I wanted to be closer for my film Identities, because I'm filming that hopefully soon. You saw the video. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, working on a film, I wanted to be close to production, everything. And then also, that production was the other thing that I wanted to be here for. So like, that was also big, like, reason that I've been, not on stream because I've been busy with that as all hell. So that's been wild. And then I won't go into other reasons. There are other reasons why I have not streamed. All I will say is there has been frustrating stuff that has been not great for my mental health, both personally and also in the online YouTube realm, that has been not great. And again, I'm not going to talk about it because the personal stuff is personal stuff, and the other stuff has been just stuff. If I talk about it, it makes it worse. And I don't want to do drama nonsense, so I'm just going to let it go, whatever. But it has not been super healthy or fun. And as a result, I have not had like the energy to be on camera in front of people for a lot of anxiety reasons and mental health reasons. So yeah, so that is why I have not been streaming for a while. Oh, Aeronock, good to see you. Mwah, sending you love. I hope the Nimona video is going great. For all you, Aeronock is my wonderful collaborator and dearest friend, who I adore working with, and she is currently working on a video about Nimona that y'all better get excited for, because I did the assembly cut for it, the video edit for it, the assembly video edit. She's doing the predominant video editing, and it is amazing. It is very good. So you should all look forward to Aeronock's video. But yeah, I am doing good. I'm doing better now. Not everything's not perfect, but I am definitely doing much better than I was. And other stuff is going really good too. Identities, I don't want to announce anything official yet, because it's not set in stone, but it looks like we have a date to actually film again all the actors are still on board. Most of the crew is still on board. You know, some people had to change out because of, you know, the fact that we had to move. But film is still happening. It's going. And actually, some positive stuff might be happening tomorrow, because I'm pitching something tomorrow to Nebula that might be adding more stuff to Identities. We'll see how it all goes. So ultimately, in the end, while I don't think I wish we had been able to film when we had, because it made things a lot easier and a lot less stressful. I do think there's positives that it got delayed, and I also frustrated we had to deal with, you know, annoying SAG stuff. But I won't go too much into that because I don't want to knock SAG too much during the moment where they need more support publicly. So, anyways, enough about me. How are all of you? Yes, you do, Courtney Corona. You do need to watch Demona. Demona is phenomenal. It is so good, and Aeronox video will go into all of it. But it is such a wonderful, beautiful film. That it really just, like, it understands how to write a trans story and a queer story in a way that is not just like focusing on, you know, trans pain and this, you know, people are dealing with so much, but actually a way that, like, how a trans story relates to so many other people, as well as how it's talking about how trans people fight systems. And I think Aeronox is going to be going over that in just such great and beautiful detail that I really think you should watch it and then watch Aeronox video. Because, like, the movie will make you cry several times, and then Aeronox video will make you cry even more by understanding all the stuff behind it that is deeply touching, and she's just really great. So yeah, you should definitely watch that video. Oh, Tara. Well, I'm hope your wife is doing all right. Your wife was one day post-op. I hope the operation is a positive operation, like one that was they were looking forward to. I don't know what the operation was, but Tara, I send you and especially your wife love. Well, I'm hoping everything's going okay, my friend. Oh yeah, Owl House is great as well. No. Yes, you should all watch the Guardians of the Galaxy video, by the way, if you have not watched it. I'm really proud of that video, too. Miranda, good to see you. I hope you're doing well, friend. Sorry I missed it. By the way, Miranda, send me the VOD of your interview. I would love to listen to it. I know you sent it to me. I was busy the day that it was going. I was hoping to make it, but I had stuff that randomly came up that I think that was that morning. So, yeah, please send it to me. I would really want to watch it. Anyways, before we get going, just because it's been a hot minute, so I'm starting to get back in the saddle again. Where's Newt? Newt is probably sleeping in the other room. I'll try and show you. I wish I could take the camera and, like, show you around my new place. Maybe at some point I'll figure out how to do that. But I'll show you around this room in a minute. But before we do all of that, just to start off, first off, just wish to let everyone know what this stream is if you're new or whatever. These are the streams that I typically have been doing every single week. I took a significant break there for a couple months, but I've been doing these streams every Thursday at around this time for about an hour, where we just sit and we chat and we hang out and we have fun just talking to each other and having conversations. And I talk about whatever all of you want to talk about. So if you have questions for me or things you want me to just riff on or discuss, put it down in the chat, and I'll talk about it. Super chats do help pay my bills. They help me pay my other collaborators like Aeronox, because I do pay Aeronox for her work on my videos and other folks that work on my videos. So if you do send super chats, I give you a heart, and I try to prioritize your question a little bit. But I do also try and pay attention as best I can to the entirety of the chat. So yeah, I know I've missed a few super chats already. Lily Hazel Eyes, heart to you. You said, yay, you're back. Thank you so much. Mwah, it's good to see you, Lily. And someone else said, what else did someone say? Dr. Lunar. Also, I love your little wolf guy. I love the little wolf guy avatar. Anyways, heart to you said, will you Starfield stream? And if you do, how fast you'll be downloading Star Trek mods into the game? Weirdly, I don't know if I'll stream. I'm hit or miss on if I stream video games. I might get. I'm thinking that if I stream video game stuff, I'm gonna be doing it on my secondary channel. So if you want to see me stream video game stuff, just so there's like less pressure on, like, it feels like more low key if I stream on my secondary channel. So if you want to see me stream Starfield, I might, because I'm definitely gonna be playing it. I would love to download mods into it, but my computer I mainly use for editing. So, like, I never have, like, I don't want to, like, waste so much of my space on my computer to play, like, something as big as Starfield. So I'm probably going to buy it on console. So if I do stream it, I'll probably play console. So yeah, probably not, sadly not a lot of Star Trek Star Trek stuff on it. Oh, Corin, heart to you. Thank you. It's telling me, I didn't know that, I forgot that this tells you this, but Corin, it says, celebrate the first super chat from Corin. Well, Corin, thank you so much for your first super chat. I appreciate that. And welcome, if you're new, welcome, my new friend. Oh, Sarah, good to see you. Sarah, heart to you, my friend. Sending you love. It's good to see you, Sarah. And oh, some random geek, thank you for sharing that. David Majors, have you played? David, good to see you. Now that we've actually like met and I can put a face to the name. Actually, you know what? Since I have met you, David, you are now a moderator. I'll make you a moderator on the channel. But what was I saying? Someone asked me a question, but now I've completely forgotten what it was. Oh, have you played Star Trek Resurgence? Yeah, I was streaming a little bit of it. I haven't finished it. I might go back and stream it. I also want to stream the Expanse game, because there's the new Telltale Expanse game, and I think it's out now. Either it's out now or it's coming out soon. And I really want to play it because you get to play as Drummer. Drummer, my polyamorous, queer, like, radical, revolutionary soldier, favorite character, baby. What am I saying? Words came away from it. I love Drummer is the short version. Drummer is amazing. The Expanse is amazing. So I'm very excited about playing that game. Oh, Miranda, heart to you. Thank you so much for the super chat. You said, hope the move went well. We need to get you on a podcast. We'd love hanging out so much. Yeah, of course. Also, Miranda, are you not a moderator? No, you are a moderator. Okay, for some reason didn't tell me if you were a moderator. But yeah, no, I thank you again for helping me move, Miranda. I really appreciate it. It meant a lot. I was dealing with a lot that day. So thank you for helping me move. And yeah, let me know when you want me on the podcast. I would love to get on the podcast again anytime. Like legitimately anytime, I would be happy to. Let's see. I just dropped in to say, like, oh, Sarah, thank you so much. You said the Guardians video is great. Thank you so much. Yes, and thank you for saying that, because I'll be frank. How best to talk about it? Like I mentioned earlier, I've been dealing with stuff that's been going on elsewhere that, again, I won't get into. And making the Guardians video, along with Aronach, who did like a lot of the work on the edit, in fact, most of the work on the edit for that. It was really nice to work on a video that felt like healing and good and like positive. And it hurt a little bit that the algorithm didn't take it very well. But I love that like everyone who watched that video seems to really adore it. So I know it's not that the video's bad, it's that the algorithm sucks. So I really do appreciate like everyone sending such kind words about the Guardians video, because Aronach and I worked really hard on that one. But such are the algorithm gods. So just, I really want to, screw it, I'll say it here, and I see it, by the way, Claire, I see your super chat, and Molly J, I see your super chat. Something that I want to just say really quickly to all of you right now, since I have y'all here, and we're all chatting, I just want to say legitimately thank you to all of you for watching stuff and supporting me and being very kind. Without getting into it, it really does mean the world to me to see that stuff, because I still read all the comments and I read, you know, all the stuff that people send me. And you have no idea how much it means to me to read like good, kind comments. It like legitimately, it means a lot. I guess I'll leave it there. So just thank you to all of you for being there. It like legitimately means a lot. Oh, Mighty Ginger, you love you as well. Love you. Oh, you're all shush. I love the hearts. You're all the best. Stop. Why? Stop with the no loves. I love you all, and then we'll stop because we'll get in a weird heart loop. All right. I want to answer super chats. The Molly J Heart to you said, watch Guardians of the Galaxy, was struck by how the mean-spirited the humor in the series, like the Drax Mantis interactions. Why James is going to get a pass on that? So here's my thing with that, and I think we talk about it in the Guardians video. I do think that James Gunn did have a lot of mean-spirited humor, especially in the first Guardians and in his work pre-Guardians. But I think as you see his work grow, there's still that sort of like, I don't want to say edgy, but provocative content a lot of the time. But the tone of it shifts from when you see the provocative content in his work in earlier stuff, it's usually meant to be like, it is that sort of like cynical, like edgy, like look at the like we dark stuff I can say. It doesn't that get you offended? Like it's just offending you for offense sake to get like a reaction out of you. And it kind of goes to that like edgelord, like you know, teenage boy kind of vibe of like oh yeah, just look at them getting all upset about whatever the hell. But as I think James Gunn has matured as a filmmaker and as a person and as an artist, I think he shifts that to ultimately kind of like showcase, and this isn't always the case. I do think there is some like mean-spirited humor that comes through here and there in some of his stuff, but I ultimately think a lot of the mean-spirited humor that you get to see ultimately becomes more about revealing something about the character who's saying it rather than the film itself just sort of espousing it. I think the biggest example of that to me is in the Peacemaker stuff. And Aronofsky's right. Like Aronofsky explicitly calls about the Drax and Mantis stuff because that is in Guardians 3 and that is a problem. And Aronofsky does talk about it. So it's still there. But I do think if you look at something like Peacemaker, like the character of Peacemaker in that series does also a lot of that like edgy style humor. Like he does it to his friend whose name I'm blanking on. His friend in that show. I forget, for some reason I'm blanking on the character's name because it's been a hot minute since I watched it. Vigilante. He does that sort of like, oh, like so what are you doing, masturbating? Like that sort, like he does that kind of humor in there, but it's ultimately revealing an insecurity on Peacemaker's part in a desire by Peacemaker to like shove other people away, which James Gunn himself used to do as a person. He's talked about that publicly. So I think there's been a shift in some of it. It's not completely gone, and I wish it was, but it is sort of emblematic, I think, of his role as a filmmaker. And that's why I like James Gunn a lot, and why Aronofsky and I think both talk about him quite a lot in our work, is because we can see this change in him as a person portrayed through his art and how the perspective of his art shifts. And I think that that's ultimately a really beautiful part of James Gunn's work. And why I really think James Gunn is one of the better blockbuster filmmakers right now. Like there's a lot of filmmakers I love more than James Gunn, but in terms of someone who like makes art at a like $1 million level, because look at Hollywood, it's very vapid right now in terms of like, you look at like the Fast and Furious, like all the franchises just coming out with nothing really to say. Marvel's doing that right now, very corporate led stories. He is a filmmaker who's still able to make art within those big IPs and big franchises and say something really meaningful. Oh, Lily Hazel Eyes, oh, heart to you. Yes, okay, yeah, I want to read that. I know I'm behind on a couple super chats. Let me get to those, but let me do yours first, because that is an incredibly generous gift. Thank you so much. Heart to you, my friend. Hey, Jessie, I have a bit of extra money saved up, and I want this out of my pocket, but I like to give some attention to the wildfires in British Columbia. Both my hometown and current city have been affected. It's been a lot on me. My hometown basically has no infrastructure. Heart to you. Yeah, I know Aronofsky has, yep, Aronofsky says that right there. But yeah, no, it is sad because, I live in California now. I lived in California for a while. And even Seattle was getting this too, last summer. I don't know if it's been recently too, but I've become somewhat like, not inured to wildfires, but it's become a more everyday part of my life. And it is something that is scary to see getting more and more common. We are at a climate crisis. And so it is something that we need to be talking more and more about. I mean, it's very obvious. And I want to give a shout out to, if you have not watched it, Sophie from Mars's wonderful video about The World Is Not Ending. I think the video that Sophie did is called The World Is Not Ending. I think she did a really beautiful video about how, there's this sense of doomerism around climate change that, the world is ending, everything's going away, society's going to fall, there's an apocalypse coming, like everything's going to be, chaos and pandemonium and society's crumbling. And she makes a really great argument. Not just like, I believe that, like, she gives like a great, like, historical argument with basis in facts. And I'm sorry, I'm going to get to the super chats really quickly. But I want to make this point clear. She makes a really great argument that, like, no, society's not going to collapse and everything's going to be pandemonium. What things will do is things will change as people become less and less safe and secure. And yes, there will be a lot of horrific things that happen. I'm not to downplay that. People will die. There will be migrant crises. It will be very, very hard and dark. But ultimately, there is still hope that societies will still form, communities will still form. We'll make something, different, hopefully better, out of the the coming climate crisis. So, it is a call to say, it is not a call for passivity nor a call for doomerism, but it is a call towards, we need to be able to do things for ourselves and know that there is something to fight for, but it is going to be a fight, right? And I think she does such a really beautiful essay on that. So I would highly recommend Sophie from Mars's video that you should all go check out. And sending you love, extra love, Lily Hazel Eyes. So sending you love, my friend. All right, let me get to some super chats because I missed a bunch of these, so I want to kind of run through these. Claire Scott Hart, you said, oh, you pay attention to these? Then look after yourself, lean into the joy, the hate will wait. Well, I mean, it's still there, but it doesn't rhyme as well. I love you, Claire. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Like I said, like I said, I'm not going to get into it, but there's been a lot of hateful stuff going on, and I want to give a shout out to all of you, and I want to give a shout out to Erin because I know she's listening right now, and I want to say this publicly. Would not have been able to survive the last few weeks and actually a couple of months without you all being kind. Oof, sorry. And without Aronach. Aronach has been really there for me, and it has meant a lot, and it has allowed me to do my best to try to not focus on the hate and the shitty stuff that I face personally and just going on in the world right now. And it reminds me every day that the way to go forward is not to fight back, but fight forward. We still fight the assholes, the bigots, the horrible people that we need to fight and push back against, but we don't fight them on their terms. And to fight back against them, we fight back because we're trying to do something. We're trying to do something forward thinking. We're trying to do something progressive. We're trying to do something meaningful for those who need it. And that requires fighting, but it is not the reason we fight. We don't fight them just to fight them. And Aronach has been really, really beautiful in reminding me of that. And I have needed that. And sorry, I'm gonna quick pull up because I had to look at the super chats and I can't see the current live stream or the current chat. So I just want to pop this out really quickly. Here we are. Oh, thank you, Miranda, for shouting out Aronach stuff. Hey, Vera, good to see you. And yeah, because there. I won't get into all of this, but, there was a bit of, Twitter discourse around, this idea of, leftism isn't about winning, that some people focused on me for, which is whatever. And the point that I made with that, and the point that I always want to make is, yes, we do fight things. Yes, we do beat, the fascists, the assholes, but we don't do it because we want to just beat them. We do it because we're trying to build something better. Because ultimately fascism and hate and bigotry, neoliberalism, even capitalism, is all about competition. It just wants you fighting each other, and that's how it generates its power. And if you're like, no, I'm fighting to tear you down and doing something more beyond that. I have a goal in mind, and I'm fighting for these people who are fighting alongside me. That's what we do it for. So it's not about winning. We win, but it's not about winning. It's about doing something next. So, all right. Focus. Why is this being weird? Live chat. Why is my computer being weird? You're being confuzzling. Maximum Hugh, heart to you. You said, are you a Nintendo, Xbox, PlayStation, or PC? Well, the answer to that is I'm none of them. I'm a human being. Sorry, that was the dorkiest way to answer that question. But all of them. I am probably right now. I probably play most of my games on PlayStation, but I play all of them. I try to play games on all of them, but probably Switch and PlayStation are my two biggest consoles. And then I'll play PC games here and there. I'll play Xbox games here and there, mostly for things that are only on those platforms. But if I have to pick something, I'll play. If it's like a big game, Armored Core's coming out tomorrow, I'm really excited about that. If it's something like that, then I'll play it on my PlayStation. And if it's something that's like a smaller bite-sized game that I want to be able to travel with, I'll play it on my Switch. So like Pikmin or something like that. David, heart to you. You said, I have been binging your videos and love them. Will continue to do so even though you don't love Willow as much as I do. Oh, David, heart to you. Okay. I'm going to be very clear, David. Here's the TNG theme song. I actually don't hate Willow. The Willow movie, I think, is fine. I don't hate it. I think it's a fine movie. It didn't knock my socks off. It's fairly standard fantasy in my book. But I really like Warwick. I think Warwick Davis is wonderful in both the film and the show. But the movie itself is fine. I actually really liked the show a lot. Like, I actually think the show, and I'm really angry that Disney took it off and didn't renew it for season 2, because I actually think the show is actually pretty solid. Like, you know, the fantasy world was pretty, like, fine. Like, it didn't, the world building didn't, like, knock my socks off. But the character relationships and the character dynamics I thought were so beautifully written and beautifully portrayed by the actors. And I really liked it quite a lot. So, you know, it wasn't by any means my favorite fantasy thing ever, but I really actually enjoyed the show quite a bit. So I actually think it got a bad rap. Let's see. Oh my gosh, this chat is being, oh, but there we go. There we go. Not you chat were being fine. My computer, like, trying to scroll so I can see super chats was being a butt. You all are being fine. The computer's being a butt. Moving away. Heart to you, moving away from transphobic parents. Well, I'm sorry you have transphobic parents. I'm sorry you're dealing with that, Rin Rin Bunny. Heart to you, but I'm glad you're getting away from them and hopefully getting somewhere safer and more stable. But you said, someone busy ain't had time to watch the Guardians. Love you videos. Also, let you know P.O. Box soon is, Veer, it's good to see you. Heart to you, and yes, I'm very excited for the sticker. And yes, watch the Guardians video when you have time. Take care of yourself first. That's totally fine. Oh, it's good to see you, my friend, and I'm excited for the sticker. Thank you so much. I will send you, the P.O. Box should be down below in the description. But thank you for sending me the sticker. I'm excited for it. I'll put it somewhere you can see it. It's like the Enterprise plaque. I'll put it somewhere here so you'll be able to see it on there. Maybe I'll put it on like the white shelf or something. I'll figure out somewhere where you can be able to see it. But sending you love, my friend, and best of luck as you move. Sorry that some of you have to deal with, my friend. The nerd with the suit, heart to you, said, I made a 4-hour She-Ra essay. Jessie inspired me. Hell yes! Make a 5-hour She-Ra essay. Do it, pull a Jessie, and make really long videos that do not do well on the algorithm, but that some people do like. So yes, love you all. Let's see. Undergamer Jordan, heart to you. I paid for this with Google Play credits. Hell yes, trans rights. Hell yes. Good. I'm glad you paid with Google Play nonsense and not like money that you should use for yourself. But heart to you, my friend. Dr. Lunar, as an NB and Superman fanatic, do you think a version of Superman could be NB and still go by Superman? I think so, as man can be human. I mean, yeah, I think so. 100%. Like, I don't like the fact that man has been equated with all of humanity because it is a very, built on patriarchal kind of thing. But I mean, like, of course. I mean, it's the same thing that, I will, like, the whole, like, argument of, like, oh, Miles Morales can't be Spider-Man because he's black. This dumb thing. It's like, it's a dumb question to ask. Like, they're fictional characters. They can be anything we want them to be, number one. And number two, like, the whole point of a lot of these stories, if you're writing them right, is not about Zack Snydering them, right? And about, like, venerating the great hero. It's about showcasing that, like, the heroes, the superheroes, are about embodying what we all wish to be in our daily lives. It's not about saying, like, look at this man and his power and what he does with his strength. It's about saying, what they embody is what we all wish to be. And they're just writ large in fantastical stories that we love to read, right? Because we love reading about superheroes. It's fun. But it's about saying, like, this is who we want to be. And so asking the question, ultimately trying to say, like, Spider-Man is this very myopic, cynical way of reading things that is built in racism, white supremacy, all of the patriarchy, all of the jazz. So yeah, I think 100% we can have an NB Superman. 100%. As long as that non-binary character is fine with going by the moniker man. Of course. I'm non-binary and I go by woman sometimes. So, like, I wouldn't mind going by, like, Superwoman even though I'm non-binary. Yeah. Let's see. It's catching up here. No, jumped ahead, sorry. Where are we? Okay. Hujumandra, apologies. I know I can never say your name correctly. I know you gave me another way to say it, but it's been a while, so apologies, my friend. You said money to buy food to keep Newt the Elder Tora well fed. Good to see you again, ma'am. Thanks for this light and shot. Oh, thank you so much. Mwah. Sending you love, my friend. You are wonderful. I wish Newt was here. I should get Newt. I'll sing to him. Let me catch up on these super chats and I'll sing and bring Newt in because he will always come when I sing. Let's see what else do we have here. Dharma, Michael Anderson Doyle, heart to you. Don't listen to haters. Oh, you're awesome, Michael. Mwah, mwah. You are lovely. Sending you love, my friend. Textrek, heart to you. I heard that you're doing the podcast with Aaron. I'm excited, and it was great to see you at Star Trek Las Vegas, my friend. Mwah. You said, keep up the great work, Jesse. Thanks for reminding me not to give in to doomerism. Some of us survived to meet the Vulcans after World War III and form... Exactly. Exactly. We still have to form the Federation. We got this. There's got to be some people that'll be here, right? Okay. I'm not going to get into it because I will rant about it, but literally I'm working on... In fact, I can show you some of it at the end of the stream. In fact, before the end of the stream, let me show you... I'm going to show you some teases of my video that's coming out soon. Because I'm working on a video on Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 2 and why I have some criticisms of that season. And a lot of it's based kind of on that, right? That, like, the way we should view Star Trek is this piece of art that inspires us to be better and understand that even when there seems like the world's going to end, even when everything seems dark, we can still reach for something better. We can still reach to make ourselves better. And my criticism of Strange New Worlds, specifically, and a lot of like franchises generally, but we're talking Star Trek specifically, is that they started to reach for the past nostalgically, like Picard Season 3 did, or Strange New World Season 2, where it sort of venerates the Star Trek-iness of it. It says, like, look, it's great that we're Star Trek, but then that ultimately sort of venerates, like, keep everything where it's at now, instead of pushing for something new, pushing for something to go forward, right? And so, you know, I want Star Trek, like Star Trek Lower Decks, that's all about, like, enabling us being our weirdo dork selves and push forward. And while I like Strange New World Season 2 overall, like, I certainly think there's a lot to love there, I want it to sort of be less about, like, saying, hey, Starfleet is the best because it's Starfleet, and be, no, like, Starfleet is this thing that enables us to be our best selves in our own weird way. Which I think Lower Decks gets very well. Again, that's not to say I hated Strange New World Season 2. I got the shirt. There's my little pikey boy. Look at my little pikey boy with his pikey boy face. So yeah, it's not that I hate it, but that's what the video. I'll show you some stuff because I might have gone a bit hard in this Strange New Worlds video. I'm gonna be honest, I think I have too many bits in it. Like, I'm like George Lucas after watching The Phantom Menace. He says I think I might have gone too far in a few places. I think that's kind of where I'm at with this video, but it'll be fun. Oh, Robert, heart to you. Said, hey, Jesse, it was so wonderful to meet you at STLV a few weeks ago. I just want to reiterate how grateful I am for you and what you put in the world. Also, oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Robert. You are amazing. It was great to meet you, my friend. Wow. And yeah, thank you for saying you love the Ahsoka premiere review. I'm excited. For Ahsoka, you know, I actually really liked it quite a lot. I like Mandalorian, and Aronok and I, by the way, have a Star Wars video that y'all should be excited about. We're going to be... It's been done mostly for a while, but Aronok has been like doing a bunch of hard work working on the animation because there's an animated part of it. So that video will come out whenever Aronok, you know, has the time and mental capacity and can to healthily finish like the animation. But I'm very excited for that Star Wars video, and we're gonna be talking about a lot of the politics stuff. But overall, I thought Ahsoka was great. I think my only knock against the Ahsoka premiere, like in terms of like a specific criticism, you know, I'm sure I'll have more criticisms when I see the whole, because it's always hard to critique a show that's telling an arc of a story, because like, well, I see where it's going, but it might, you know, it's hard. It's like watching like the first 20 minutes of a movie and then trying to like analyze just the 20 minutes without seeing the whole thing. But right now, I'm really liking where it's going. But my only criticism of the premiere generally is just they had this really good sequence about like, you know how like this capitalism section about like there's the the Republic, the New Republic is making this mistake of thinking like oh, it can just pay people whatever, people just go where the money isn't. That's generally true, but like people forget like personal loyalties, also how capitalism will generally follow like the most authoritarian fascist government as well. I thought that was like not a very super astute section, but it was like a good discussion of that. My only problem is they cast the like evil capitalist guy as with a Jewish actor, who I like the actor, by the way. He was in House. I thought he was great, but they cast a Jewish actor in that role, and I was like, the evil capitalist man in casting a Jewish actor, especially since they weren't like specific. They like had him be arrested at one point, and they weren't really specific with what he had done. It was sort of like implied that he was working for the Empire, but it wasn't exactly shown, and I wish they had more specificity to it. So like it's like it's one of those things where it's like I don't think there was any intentional anti-Semitism intended with that scene. So it's just one of those like I'm sure they cast the actor because they like the actor and no one thought about it. But that was my only critique of Ahsoka. Otherwise, I thought it's like Ray Stevenson is great. You know, I really loved Sabine a lot. Like, oh, and my boy David Tennant as Huang. He was just David Tennant was just me. I love David Tennant so much, and I love just anything he's in. I know it's nostalgia, but I'm just very excited for him to be in Doctor Who again. I am very excited for Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor, but just the 3 episodes we're getting with David Tennant's Doctor, I'm like, you know what? This is the like tiny bit of just give me the tiny bit of David Tennant nostalgia, and then we get the new Doctor. Just a dash. And I'm glad to see David Tennant. Just David Tennant. I will fangirl over David Tennant all day, every day, because he is legit the best. All right, let's see. Catching up on this. Penumbra Ghost. We can't give too much, but we like to give this. You deserve it, and you help me. Oh, Penumbra Ghost. I appreciate that. And I just want to always say, well, heart to you, and I will say thank you. But I always want to say, like, I appreciate giving to me, but I always want you to take care of yourself first. So only give if you can. There's by no means any, like, I'm not asking for you to give, you know, if you can't, like, only give if it's something in excess that you have. But I appreciate it, and it means a lot, Penumbra Ghost. Carlisle, the Cinephile, heart to you. And Charles, it's good to see you. Sending you love as well, Carlisle, the Cinephile. And also, heart to you, Charles. Mwah. Sending you love. Oh, Chopper was great. I love it when Chopper just wants to commit a couple war crimes, you know? There's a couple, it's like he wants to shoot down the ship over like a bunch of civilians. I'm like, Chopper, no, dear. You just it's like, your little droid who just wants to, adorable droid trying to do war crimes, but I do love Chopper. It's just very funny. Sarah, heart to you. If winning is an end into a stuff that can be more progress, I'm sure you're talking about what I was talking about before, but yes, you are absolutely correct, Sarah. Andrew Clegg, I'm checking, heart to you, Andrew Clegg, because I just saw your super chat right now. I loved Good Omens 2. If you want my overall thoughts on Good Omens 2, I will just plug a little bit. I did an actual video just for patrons over on my Patreon. That was just an analysis of Good Omens 2. So if you want to support me over on Patreon, that was a Patreon exclusive video that I did for them. So if you go support me there, you'll get my thoughts on Good Omens 2, my more in-depth thoughts. But just to say, I loved it. I absolutely loved that season so much. Legitimately one of my favorite things. The ending was heartbreaking. I know some people had a problem with it. I am hopeful that the arc, if they get a Good Omens 3, and Neil Gaiman said that if they don't get Good Omens 3, he's going to write the book. So we will get that story told. And I do hope, I have trust that the story that they're going on based off the ending of Good Omens 2, and no spoilers, but it was a depressing ending. But I do, from what I can tell, it feels like they are setting up to tell a story that I think will be a good one to tell if they kind of take it on the arc that I hope they take it on with those characters. But what I loved about the show was this sort of, just kind of reverse queer baiting of the story, where it just like the way that David Tennant and Michael Sheen were portrayed in that season. They were so adorable and lovely and sweet, and you can just tell that they love each other so much. And I love that David Tennant's character, the demon, he hurts himself because he just wants to keep Michael Sheen's angel character to have hope still, and have hope in this like larger thing of heaven. And even though he sees Michael Sheen getting more and more disillusioned, he wants to say, hey, yeah, look, the system of heaven is bullshit. But he also loves the hope that Michael Sheen as an individual holds on to. And so he tries to save that for him. And ultimately it backfires a little bit because Michael Sheen still has hope that the system can work, even though it's clearly been shown not to. And so the way that David Tennant's character expresses himself ultimately and tries to love Michael Sheen ultimately kind of was what causes them to have that pain. But I thought it was just a beautiful depiction of their relationship, I think, in a really wonderful way. And I talk about in this video, there's some really great stuff in terms of like the time periods that they use in the story and things like that. It just, Good Omens 2, I thought was phenomenal. I loved that season so much. So I am very excited if they get a season 3, or if they don't get renewed, to read the book that Neil Gaiman said he's going to write about it. So I love Good Omens 2. I can understand where people were hurt at the ending because it is a darker ending, especially for a queer relationship. But I think that is, it is in service of a larger story that I don't think is them like, burying their gaze or leaning into a harmful trope. I guess the hard part is just not knowing we're going to get another season. Like, if we knew we were going to get another season, and we kind of do, considering we'll know we'll get the book, I think it would be, people would have been on board a little bit more. And that's not to say it's wrong to be upset. If you are upset about it, that's totally understandable. I understand, like, queer people think, like, can we just have positive stories that end positively? Totally understand that. But I think I'm willing to give them a little bit of, time to tell that story. Let's see. Kids, I'm a trans kid. Oh, sorry. I apologize if I say your name wrong, by the way. Kietz, Qiekz. Apologies. I mispronounce names all the time, so apologies to my friend. But I'm sending you love. You said, I'm a trans kid, and seeing trans adults existing really gives me hope and happiness so much. Thank you so much for that. Stay safe, and I love you. Oh, I'm sending you love, my friend. You are amazing and wonderful, and I adore you as well. And yeah, I know what you're saying. You know, when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of trans adults to look up to, so the few I had meant a lot to me, and I'm glad there's a lot more, and I'm glad I can be that for you and show you that. And I still feel it too. I want to do a video. I've had it in my brain since, like, The Last of Us Part 2 did a really great, like, older gay love story. I want to do a video about older trans people finding love and living happily. And I also want to write a movie at some point about an older trans person. I have an idea for one that I think will be kind of fun and beautiful. So yeah, we'll see how that's go. Oh, Thea, heart to you. That is an incredibly generous super chat, my friend. Sending you, Thea, thank you so much. Oh, that is absolutely wonderful. Like, I really appreciate that. Heart to you, Thea. Thank you for that. That is super generous. I never know how to react to, like, super generous super chats. You're a wonderful human yourself, and I appreciate you. Yeah, I never know how to react to that. Thank you. Logan Mansion Gaming, heart to you. Said, I got my wisdom teeth removed yesterday. Well, I hope you're healing up fine. I know how, like, the wisdom teeth removed, like, makes your jowls grow out. So I hope you're taking care of yourself, Logan Mansion Gaming. I did the wisdom teeth removal too. So it's always a lot. It's always a lot. So I hope you're doing fine. Let's see. Hontus Farmer, good to see you. Agree, racial accuracy in fiction is a dog whistle. I forget what you're probably referring to something I spoke about before. Oh yeah, racial yeah, the Spider-Man. We were talking about that Spider-Man. Yeah. I'm actually going to be talking about that a little bit in my Star Trek video. I'll be curious to hear your thoughts about my Star Trek video, Hontus Farmer. Let's see. Selkie, you said, heart to you, said, I hope you're treating yourself well and getting good rest. I missed your face. Oh, so I'm so glad to be here for stream. All love to you. Selkie, heart to you, I missed your face as well. Mwah. Even though I don't technically see your face. You know what I mean, my friend. Mwah. You are lovely. David Majors, heart to you, said, definitely looking forward to your Strange New World video. I think we'll be on the same page. Yeah, David, I'd be curious your thoughts on the super chat, on the Strange New Worlds video. Sorry, I was looking at the super chat. On the Strange New Worlds video. Remind me, I will show you all what I'm gonna try and keep on catching up on the super chats here. But I'll show you all at the end a little tease of it, because yeah, I'm gonna go hard in this Strange New Worlds video. The video, I'm assuming the video is going to tank the algorithm, and then I have a video that I'm planning after this Strange New Worlds video that I know will be an algorithm-friendly video. So I know this Strange New Worlds video is going to tank, but there are things that I wanted to talk about in this season that I think are really important to talk about, not only with Star Trek, but I want to be said about Star Trek right now, but generally in our society at the moment. So it's a video that's going to be about Star Trek, but surprise, it's not about Star Trek. Believe me, I think this Strange New Worlds video is going to go a bit hard. It's going to go hard. It's going to go really hard. I may have gone too hard. But we'll see about that. Dr. Lunar, heart to you, says, an MBUs feel pride that my body is masked and see myself as an MB man. Your Superman answer made me feel much better about myself. Oh, Doctor, you are wonderful. Heart to you. Yeah, it's like, like I said, I'm non-binary, but I feel like I have a more femme presentation. I like having a more femme presentation, but it's fun. I talked about this before in other videos. Like, you know, I was assigned male at birth, and, you know, transitioned to like have a more femme appearance, both in body and just, you know, just generally. But having done that, I've realized, like, I do like aspects of presenting more masculinely in terms of how our society views masculine. You know, it's again, society putting things into buckets that, you know, we're just human beings living as ourselves. So, you know, I I like experimenting with, all sides of, the gender presentation spectrum. But again, it is just our society saying, like, these things need to fit into these boxes. You need to be, men have to be in this box, women have to be in this box, and they can't, cross over in any way. And if you cross over in any way, then, you're an abomination against God or whatever, in nature. But in actuality, we're all weirdo humans, every single one of us, even if you are cisgender, all of us are just weirdo humans that have multitudes and are all strange and weird. So of course, as someone who is mask presenting but non-binary, hell yes, you are amazing and awesome, and your body is awesome, and you are awesome, and you're an awesome person. And that goes for everybody. So sending you love, Dr. Lunar. Let's see. Lily Hazel Eyes, hard to use, said, so I seem to remember you saying you started Twin Peaks a while back. What did you keep up? If so, you thought some people interested in Fire Walk With Me. I loved Fire Walk With Me. So Twin Peaks overall, I really, really liked. There's some dated stuff, especially in season 2 of Twin Peaks. Like there's some Confederacy stuff that's like, but what I like about Fire Walk With Me specifically, because I actually really liked that movie a lot, is it took the like male centering of the because like Twin Peaks has this sort of like guy savior sort of story to it, and Fire Walk With Me, it doesn't like, it's not like, I don't want to say it's like the female gaze or anything, it's not that, but what it is trying to do in that movie is undercut a little bit this idea that like women can be saved by men, because it's also we live in a society that puts women in those places in the first place of needing to be saved and being victimized often by men, right? And so Fire Walking With Me is David Lynch, I think, having this really interesting conversation about like, how Laura has, she's been victimized by all of these men, and then you have this like FBI agent character like, I'm going to solve her case, and vindicate her, and I'm going to be the savior of this story. And ultimately the story is about being like, no, she can't be saved. And that is also what the Twin Peaks sequel series, I forget what the secondary thing of The Return, is also kind of about, and deconstructing like The Sopranos and these like very male-centric stories of these like toxic men, like The Sopranos, I think being the big one, Breaking Bad as well. And I think it does such a great job sort of like reframing that narrative about like women, are in a society that victimizes women, victimizes us over and over and over again. And it creates these stories over and over and over again that centers men in this story. So I think I really, really liked Twin Peaks overall. There's some dated stuff. And again, it is, even while I talk about all the stuff that I just said, it is still a very male-centric viewpoint on stuff. And so I overall really like Twin Peaks. I think there's some really cool stuff in there, and I love David Lynch's stuff generally. So it's an interesting thing to watch, I will say. Very interested. Let's see. Catching up on super chats. All right, is there any more super chats? Yes. Okay. D. Duval, Harty, what's good, Jessie? My wife and I and our baby girl is right around the corner. I can't wait. Love the new place. And you, I hope you're doing well and you deserve it. Oh, congratulations. Congratulations on having a baby. Mwah, mwah. Sending you love. That's amazing. I hope everything goes well and you're taking care of your partner. And mwah, that's amazing. Congratulations. Mwah, mwah. And sending you love, my friend. Oh, that makes me very happy. Disc-graphic programmer said, hey, sorry about your movie getting hung up. Thank you very much. That sort of bureaucracy fuck-up can be infuriating. Hope you get it made eventually. I look forward to seeing it. Yeah, I talked about it earlier. The SAG stuff aside, which, I'm not going to rant too much about because, I support SAG in terms of the workers who are on strike right now and the actors who are on strike and what they are fighting for against the studios. 100% support. The bureaucracy stuff was very frustrating, and I have certainly my issues that I vented about in the video, so you can go watch the video. So I'm not going to rant too much about that. But at the end of the day, the movie is still getting made. It's not 100% the dates yet, but it looks like we have our new dates set. We are going to film. Things are moving forward, and there has been some benefits because we were able to fix up some things that we weren't super happy with going into filming. It's like, well, now we have more time. We can do that better. And also some positive stuff might be coming out of it too. So, not what I would have wanted. Still would have preferred to film when we did, but there are benefits to us getting delayed, and it is going to be made still. So that's the short version. I have not seen the Southern Comfort documentary, Sarah, and also heart to you, my friend. Joel, heart to you. You were an amazing person. Yeah, right? The Rio didn't have stouts. That was the worst thing. Have fun editing, Aeronauts. Heart to you, my friend. I have to get back to once I'm done with this stream. I'm gonna get back to editing myself. So believe me, I'm right there with you, Aeronauts. And see, Stay Hump 10 Heart to you said, "Hey Jess, I love Andor so much as everybody. My biggest problem is they never explain how he survived the end of Rogue One. Oh, it's a prequel. I think Aeronauts just answered that too. It's a prequel, so that's how Andor survived. He doesn't survive the end of Rogue One. Andor actually is set before Rogue One, so it's set I think 5 years before Rogue One is the plan. So yeah, he does not survive Rogue One, and I like that a lot actually for Andor's story. As much as I would love, I want Andor, I wish Andor hadn't died. But the two reasons that I really like the fact that Andor does die at Rogue One, and we know that that's the end of his story going into Andor to a degree. Well, I'm not always the biggest fan of prequels. What I like that story gives us is, one, it means that Andor's story has a definitive end. Like the problem with Star Wars, and this is a lot of what Aeronauts and I are gonna be talking about in our Star Wars video, is that a lot of these stories in Star Wars, they just want these stories to go on and 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 on. And ultimately they become very myopic. They ultimately look back to the past. They ultimately keep telling the same story over and over again because the franchise is you need to tell a Star Wars story. So you get Disney being let's just make the Empire 2 Electric Boogaloo with the First Order. So to sell the same story over and over again, and they don't evolve. And so what I like about Andor's story is there's an end point, and it's not just to be able to tell the same story over and over again. It's telling something new with his story. And then two, the other thing too, and this is something that Andor itself is very much about as a series. If you watch Andor quite a lot, if you go into what that show is about, it is talking about the fight against fascism, and how a fight against oppressive systems, against fascism, ultimately requires that we fight and understand that fight is going to be painful and costly, and you might die for it, as Andor does, as a lot of people do. There is a human cost to fighting fascism, and you can't look away from that. You have to understand that this fight is not going to be easy. It is inherently not going to be easy, and yet you do it anyways because it needs to be done. You fight to make something better, and it's going to suck. It's going to be painful. People are going to die, and that is awful and terrible and tragic, and we should grieve that. But we also can't let us paralyze us into inaction, because that's where you get a lot of the centrist viewpoints on things, right? Which is just the system will all work out okay, right? Just preserve the system and it'll all be fine, and we hope it'll all work out again in the end, and it paralyzes you to inaction because you're too worried about losing what little you have. And you have to understand sometimes you need to risk your life to be able to fight back against these systems. And I think Andor as a show really understands that. And to have Andor die at the end of Rogue One, I think ultimately is also showcasing that. And that's why I do really think Andor, Star Wars Andor, is one of the best anti-fascist works of art that I've seen in a very long time. And it's because it understands that. Just look at you can even see this in this very simple ways, in the edit. Because in the edit, there are shots when there's these big crowds of people in the finale, or in the Prison Break episode of Andor. There's these big crowds of people fighting back against the Empire. These whole rushes, this whole movement of people fighting back, and people get shot and they just fall down and die. And the edit will linger on their bodies. A lot of the time when we watch movies, there's people die and it's sort of cannon fodder. They get shot and there'll be a shot of them falling, but you won't really pay attention to just the people who are just in a movement dying. But Andor takes the time to show you a dead body and just stay on it for a minute. And you just stick there looking at the dead body. For a little bit longer, for a few seconds longer than another show would or another movie would. And it's just a small editing way to show you this is the cost of fighting these systems. And it is hard. But this is the truth of it. And that's why I really think that Andor was just such a really, really great show in terms of depicting, how you create, anti-fascist movements. I think it was a really smart show in that way. Anyways, now that we've talked about fascism quite enough, it's my favorite thing, talking about fascism. Yeah, the whole prison arc in Andor is, yeah, exactly. And the prison arc in Andor may be influencing my own stuff, like identities. Anyways, let's see. My computer's being weird again. I feel like Star Wars with you have to be up to date with everything to fully understand, where in Star Trek you can skip at things and still fully understand and enjoy. Yeah, I mean, I feel like, especially now with Disney stuff, with like the gap filling things, like Star Wars overall, up until Disney bought it, you could just sort of jump in. But things with like, now they've gone to this like TV era of Star Wars, like with Mandalorian, they're trying to make this interconnected universe. And because it's the capitalist thing, right? Where they want you to be like, oh, well, if you want to get into Star Wars, you have to buy this and 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 this. It's trying to get you to constantly like consume their media, like keep you in their ecosystem. So a lot of the stories end up sort of feeding in on themselves, but it ultimately becomes self-destructive, right? Because when they do that, you look at like Ahsoka. I think Ahsoka is a really solid show, but it does require like that background of knowing Rebels. And so it's kind of a hard to buy into that show for the more casual viewer. I still think you can watch it and still get a lot out of it, at least from what I saw the first few episodes. But I do think the buy-in is a little bit harder because they sort of have this thing like keep the people in the Star Wars ecosystem, but ultimately that ecosystem becomes smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. It kind of eats its own tail. And Star Trek, I think, is not as bad about doing that. I do think there are sometimes in recent years there's that push towards that. But I think what Star Trek is ultimately doing, especially with like, is getting like more nostalgia. Like, hey, look, it's the Star Trek thing you like, which Star Wars started with under the Disney era. And so I'm hoping that Star Trek doesn't become myopic in that way, and that Star Trek can kind of push out and is still kind of like be focusing on new things, taking risks with the franchise, trying new stuff with Star Trek. And I think that that's ultimately where you create new onboard platforms for people. Because if you constantly are creating something new with Star Trek, well, then you don't need all the stuff that you need to know the history of, because it's a new thing. And it can be informed by that history. It should be informed by that history, but it should be telling a new story. That's why I like Prodigy so much, because I think Star Trek Prodigy is telling like new stories with characters like Janeway, but it is telling new stories. So I think that's entirely true. Oh, gender, who's saying gender gang? Good to see the gender gang. Good to see you. Heart to you. Gender is a game and I want to break the meta. Exactly. Oh, some random geek, you are going to like identities. Just for that statement alone, gender is a game and I want to break the meta, you're going to like my film. That is probably one of the best thesis statements for identities that I have ever seen. I might even use that, because that is actually a pretty damn good log line for that movie. Ironically enough. So I thought season 1 of Ben Mill. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what season 2. What the hell was season 2? Like, I remember season 1 of Mandalorian. I don't remember season 2. I remember Luke Skywalker. Oh yeah, there was like yeah. Okay, I was like, I cannot remember Mandalorian season 2 at all other than Luke Skywalker at the end. I agree. I think Mandalorian season 1 was much better than season 2. What I liked about season 1 of Mandalorian is it felt like a new thing. It did feel like a new thing. It was trying to do like Western style Star Wars, like an old style Western. Like he comes to a new town, helps the people. Like it felt like a Western. It felt, honestly, season 1 of Mandalorian really felt like more akin to like the Gunslinger from way back in the day, like the old style Western TV shows. And while I don't think any of the stories, especially in season 1, I don't think any of the stories in season 1 were like radically new. Like I found them to be a bit like, I've seen this before. It just has like a Star Wars aesthetic put on top of it. I still at least appreciated that they were trying something new with Star Wars. Where since season 2 and then especially season 3 just became this whole like referencing Star Wars thing that we were just talking about, right? So yeah, I don't think season 1 of Mandalorian was by any means like groundbreaking or amazing overall. I think it was probably the strongest season of the show overall. I could at least make the argument for it. So Anna Myers, heart to you. Sending you love, my friend. Oh, DBX1701, you didn't offend me. You didn't offend me. You said if I offend you, no one. If people offend me, I will let you know. But generally, no one offends me on the live streams. Usually, the people who only bother me are people who come in to be transphobic or an asshole or be a jerk. You did not offend me. Like, I am not someone who gets offended by people who are not trying to be offensive, right? Like, this is just to let you know and let everyone here know, like what my way I see things are is like, as long as you're coming into a chat stream, a space, and you're here to be kind, listen to people, have fun, be a caring person, you may fuck up, but then we talk about it, we move forward if something happens. And I don't even think you fucked up in anything, by the way. I want to be clear. I don't even remember if you, like, there was nothing that you bought, like, I don't remember anything. But like if we're in a space together, humans are weird. We say stupid things. I've said dumb things before, but we're all here to like learn and grow together, right? And so if we're listening to each other and if someone ever says like, oh, that bothered me, you're like, oh, I'm sorry. And we move forward, right? And we try our best to listen to others and be aware of each other, right? And so the only time that I get offended or bothered by something is when someone comes in trying to be offensive, who does not care for anyone but themselves, is not here to listen, is not here to grow, is not here to enable others around them to also have a good time, just as hopefully everyone around them is enabling them to have a good time. If you just see people around you as things to enable you to have a good time instead of, all of us being here together, that is when I get offended. That is when I get bothered. But if you're here being a cool person, kind person, you're listening, you listen to me. If I ever say something stupid, like, let me know. That's the one thing I always want to talk about is if I ever say anything like absolutely awful or terrible, I will always own up to it. And I will always talk about it, and I will always try to take accountability for that. There are people who try to, well, we won't get into that. There are people who try to hold you accountable for things that they make up in their brains. But if I fuck up, I always wish to be accountable for things I fuck up. And I think that's how we all grow together, right? Fascism and fascism is built on this cynicism, right? That we are all the worst things that we've ever done. So why try? It's this idea that like, we're all awful. People are all awful. People are all inherently the worst, or just terrible, disgusting, gross things. So why care? Give yourself to the machine, the greater project of humanity, because, we're all awful humans. We can make something better. And it's this very cynical thing. It's like, you can never grow. You can never change. You can never get better. That's a very fascistic mindset, right? It's why you see a lot of like this cancel culture narrative of people like, to use the easy one, J.K. Rowling or whatever. It's like, oh, they deny accountability because they're like, why grow? Why change? I'm right. This is just the way it is. It's why you'll often see like, I see a lot of my conservative family members really is more what I mean. Conservative family members who I talk to, I'm always like, well, don't you want to try to make things better? It's like, well, this is just the way the world is. I'm like, but you should try to make it better because we can be better. And so it's a reminder to focus on that humans, we do fuck up. We're not perfect. We sometimes do very awful things. But the way through is to remember that we can grow from it. And sometimes the harm we cause cannot be repaired. Sometimes we hurt people. Sometimes we cause damage. Sometimes we destroy things, and that thing can't be put back together. That person won't forgive us. The trauma or harm that we cause the other person can't be fixed. That sucks and is awful. And you have to accept that, and you have to take accountability for it, and in whatever way that means. But you also hope that you always have to hope to move forward from where you're at, to look forward, to try to grow from where you are. And if you're doing that, I think that's all we can ever ask of anybody. And I think that's what gets us through to make something better. It's not to excuse harm. It's to say when harm happens, you need to acknowledge it and understand that we still can move forward, but you have to acknowledge the harm first in order to grow, in order to heal in as much as we can. Yeah. So, anyways, I think it has been about an hour. So I think I am about to wrap up this stream. But before I do, thank you everybody. Fuck it, I will be I won't go into everything because it'll be I don't want to get into specific stuff, but what I will say is this. Thank you everybody for this stream. Like I said at the top of the stream, you know, there are a bunch of reasons, like moving and I got my film stuff, that I haven't done a lot of live streams lately. But there has been personal stuff that has sucked. Both in my life and online. And without getting into too much of it, there's just I've been dealing with a lot from online stuff and has not been great. And part of it has made me very scared and anxious a little bit about being online. I have come to realize I love making art. I love community. I love being with all of you and hanging out with people and making things for people and connecting with people and trying to hopefully build hopeful things. But I don't like being a figure that people talk about as like a person, as like a commodity, really. I don't really like that. And it feels very dehumanizing. And because of that, I've had a fear, I guess, of being online a little bit, and part of that fear just coming out of all the shit that I was dealing with, it is not made me want to do live streams in a while. And I knew that doing a live stream, I would see all of you, and you would all be wonderful and kind and amazing. I know that, but just from dealing with stuff, it's been difficult, and I was scared to even do this live stream today. And just thank you for making this live stream really kind and full of wonderful people. It reminded me why I love doing this and why I like being here. So all of you, just thank you, and I adore you all. And thank you. You honor me with you all being kind and wonderful and amazing. And thank you for being here. Oh, Spotted Giraffe, good to see you. Speaking of, actually, Spotted Giraffe, thank you. Oh, number one, let me make you a moderator. I forgot, before we go, let me show you a little bit of my Star Trek video, and then I'll head out. Because I want to show you what I'm working on. Let me see if I can, let me make sure I can actually show this very easily. I need to quick make this, because let's see, window capture. No, I don't do window capture. Let's do display capture, window capture, window capture. Yeah, let's do that. Add new. DM Collins, heart to you, my friend. Let's see. Do I have, will it? Oh, wait, no, my Premiere should be up. Where's my Premiere? Well, is this gonna let me do this? Let's just do display capture. That'll be annoying, but we'll do it that way. Okay. All right. I am very excited. Okay. Let me just pull this up. Let me just make sure you can see this very well. Okay. No, don't break. Bad live stream. Okay, there we go. Okay. Let me pull that down. Wait, why is this being weird? Oh, I see. Okay, so I'm going to transition. You're going to lose me for a second. But if you, oh no, the screen's gone, but you can hear me still. Where's me? Gosh darn it. Aw, man. What's that? I don't know how to get it so you can see my face. My beautiful, pretty face. Where? There we go. Okay, there we are. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. So I just want to show y'all. I'm working on this Star Trek video, and I just got some, like, I'm just doing a lot of fun stuff. Like I said, I may have. Well, let me just show you. I may have gone out to Vasquez Rocks to film some stuff. I may have gone all the way out to Vasquez Rocks to be able to film things, and I am very excited about it. And I may have done some Gordon stuff. It's a good time. And then I did that, and then I did, wait, where's the best part? This is my favorite part. Wait. I did like a whole wig thing because we're talking about the law episode, and that's not even the least of it. I have even more, like, there's so many bits. There's so many bits in this video. Let's see, where else is there? Let's see. So many bits. I have so many bits. I'm very excited about it. So yeah, I am very pumped about this video. It should be a lot of fun, and I do think that it's gonna be, like I said, it's about Star Trek, but it's not about Star Trek. I'm really proud of this video. It's going to be a lot. It's a lot. Anyways, that's where I'll leave it. Let me just transition back here. All right, everybody. I'm gonna head out, but let me pop this back up. But I just want to let you all, like I said, I'm not going to repeat what I said, but because I wanted to go on that, but then I realized I wanted to show Star Trek stuff. I love you all. Thank you all for being amazing. I appreciate all of you. Star Trek video will be out probably next week. It'll probably come out on Monday or Tuesday. I want to try releasing videos on Monday or Tuesday now because the algorithm seems to do better on those days. So hopefully that video will come out next Monday or Tuesday, depending on when I finish it. I'll be up for patrons, hopefully this weekend. And then I'll be back next week for a live stream. So, heart to y'all. Take care of yourselves. Mwah. Thank you all. Luke, heart to you. Aw, sorry. Heart to you. Oh, well, thank you for the beer, Luke. Heart to you, my friend. Mwah. Everyone take care of yourselves and be safe. Mwah.